Today I'm not cooking, I'm looking back at some of my best recipes that I've made for you for the Christmas season. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. Join me as I fire up the Wayback Machine and bring you recipes of Christmas past here on SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? Merry Christmas, Taste Buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein and welcome to the Goya Kitchen at JA World in Coconut Creek. I know many of you got up in the dark this morning being dragged to the tree by your little ones, and now you're looking at a pile of torn wrapping paper and the kids have fallen back asleep. So now is a good time to sit back and relax with a half hour just for you. Today I thought it would be fun to go back and give you some of my recipes from Christmas past. So let's get cooking and looking back. Let's go back to before pandemics, vaccinations, and masks. This recipe comes from 2017. It's a fabulous duck leg confit, a hit with anyone I've ever made it for, including this crew. Yeah. Enjoy they did. Who doesn't love duck confit? I'm going to teach you how to make it, but it will make your house smell like delicious duck for a little while. The first thing you got to do is find some duck legs, and thanks to Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, I've got beautiful ones. The next thing you do is make a cure. So on the cutting board I've been chopping a little bit of fresh garlic clove and fresh ginger. So really chop up that ginger and garlic rather well, that would be called a mince, and put that into a bowl. We're going to add some 5-spice powder found at pretty much anywhere, but definitely at Asian markets. A little bit of sugar, about 2 tablespoons of sugar, and about a 1/4 cup of salt. You can go less if you want to. A little bit of orange zest with a microplane. So mix that really well together and start curing your duck leg. You take a bit of the cure, you rub it into the most important part, which is the flesh side of it. Just a little bit into the skin, and that's it. And you'll want to do that evenly on all your duck legs. I recommend curing for about 24 to 48 hours. Don't ever go more than that. Once the 24 to 48 hours is up, go ahead and wash off your duck legs really well. You want all that cure off because we are cooking this in duck fat and it will burn. And then dry your duck legs really, really well. To cook it, it's a slow, somewhat long process. I highly recommend doing it in an oven. After you wash and dried your duck legs, you're gonna put them into some kind of roasting pan and cover it with melted duck fat. And the duck fat has to come above, at least a 1/4 inch above those duck legs. Cook them like that, 190 to 200 degrees. They will take 2 hours and 45 minutes to 3 hours. That's it. You delicately pull them by this bone out of the fat and place them on a sheet. Throw this right into the fridge. You want them really cold to move on to the process that makes the duck leg so good and crispy. Next day, you'll want to take this main bone out. That comes right out of there, okay? Then I like to take off the tip of this bone, like so, just to make a really nice clean presentation. Pretty easy to do, just make sure you have a good sturdy knife. That's nice and clean. We're going to go directly into hot duck fat. Now you've taken that duck fat that you've cooked your duck legs in, you're going to strain it. I've heated that duck fat up and it's pretty darn hot right now, about 325 to 350 degrees. No flour, no nothing. You're going to go straight into the hot duck fat and get it really nice and crispy. And this just takes minutes, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes at the very most. We're just getting a good texture on them. Because it is Christmas, I'm giving you just a lovely warm medley of some wild rice and some dried fruit. I thought it would go beautifully with the duck leg. Oh yeah. Oh, look how beautiful, look how golden that is. It's just gorgeous. Now remember, this does have sugar and it does have a lot of spice, so don't let it fry for too long because it will turn dark rather quickly. Make sure you have a little towel ready. A paper towel is best for any excess fat. And it's so impressive to make duck confit in the house. It's funny though, it's so easy, but I only do it on the holidays. I guess I just wanted to keep it special. And this could be a main course. You could serve it on its own, but I just think like this with a little wild rice not only makes a beautiful presentation, but it makes people very, very happy. Definitely doesn't need a sauce. It's so tender and juicy on its own. And there you have it. Beautiful golden, crispy duck leg confit with wild rice and dried fruit. A great start to a very happy Christmas. Now, didn't that look good? That duck came from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. I hope you've got your New Year's order in. If not, you can still call it in, but do it now. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. Go to delawarechicken.com or call them at 954-983-6831. Again, that is 954-983-6831 to place an order with the good folks, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, and tell them Chef Michelle sent you. Come right back for more recipes from Christmas past. How would you like to win a $500 Goya Seasonings Greetings gift card? Well, of course you would. Well, your chance is waiting for you at local10.com. Just go to local10.com to register. The Goya Seasonings Greetings winner will be chosen on Monday, January 3rd, 2022, so enter today. Just go to local10.com for your chance to win Goya Seasonings Greetings $500 gift card giveaway. Because if it's Goya, it has to be good. SoFlo Taste will return right after this. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. My next recipe comes from a Christmas brunch show I gave you back in 2016. It's a recipe in keeping with the season. It's a delicious pumpkin bisque, silky, warming, comforting, good one. Watch. We're going to start out with a delicious soup of squash and all kinds of great spices. I've taught you before how to roast some squash in the oven to make a soup, but this is all done in one pan. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of olive oil, some butter, and once that butter starts to foam up, I will add the onions and a couple of smashed garlic cloves. So it's really up to you what kind of squash you like. This is a combination of acorn squash and butternut squash. Totally up to you. You can also use sweet potato. What we have here for spices, we've got a little pinch of cayenne to make it a little bit spicy, some cinnamon, some cardamom. I think I guessed this right. Yep, I did. And ginger. So everything is ground, and what I like to do is add it in somewhat early to toast the spices in the fat. On the front burner, I have some chicken broth, or you can, of course, make your own chicken stock. But if you want this to be just a one-pot pick, you can absolutely add the broth in later. We're not looking for color on the onions and the garlic. I'm just looking to get them a little bit soft and to work the spices. So once that's all working, go ahead and add the squash. Now I'm going to cook the squash until they just start to soften and melt and stick to the pan. And then we'll add our chicken stock. And eventually I'm going to flavor it with my favorite vinegar for this kind of thing. This is sherry vinegar made from sherry. It's a delicious vinegar. I also have a little touch of maple syrup that I'm using rather than brown sugar typically. I'm going to let this keep going. All of the squash is really nice and tender. Go ahead and puree the soup until smooth. And I'm going to serve the soup in a nice simple bowl. And for garnish, I have some creme fraiche and pepitas, toasted green pumpkin seeds that are just lovely. You don't need the creme fraiche, but it is Christmas after all, holiday season. You go for broke. That's a Santa favorite and a great seasonal recipe you can make right through the SoFlo February. By the way, as always, I am practicing physical distancing here in the Goya kitchen at JA World, so I'm not wearing a mask, but the crew is all masked up. I will put mine on when they turn the cameras off. So roll up your sleeves, SoFlo, and take your best shot. Come right back for another classic recipe from Christmas past.
There's still more from the Goya Kitchen at J.A. World and Michelle.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, as we always are. I'm here at the wonderful J.A. World in Coconut Creek, a great place dedicated to our kids. Here's a great idea for a holiday gift. Tickets for J.A. World's Uncorked on Saturday, January 29th. J.A. World's Uncorked is an Epicurean experience hosted by the J.A. Circle of Wise Women. Some of the South Florida's finest restaurants will be highlighting creations paired with wine, spirits, and special cocktails. Sample foods from over 35 restaurants and beverage partners. Music, raffles, and a silent auction, and more. So again, that's J.A. World Uncorked, Saturday, January 29th from 6:30 to 10:30 here in Coconut Creek. For tickets and more information, visit jasouthflorida.org/JA World Uncorked. Back to Tastes of Christmas Past with another from my best holiday recipes. Last week, I made you recipes to celebrate Noche Buena. This one, too, is for celebrating the good night. It's for a great chimichurri roast ham. I can almost smell it now. Take a look and just pretend you can smell it. Here I have a pernil, or a leg of pork, or of course a ham. We have kept the bone in on this ham. And this is like the whole leg. You can buy a half a leg. It will take you a lot less time to cook, like the bad boy that's been in the oven all night, by the way. So it's really up to you. It takes about 24 to 25 minutes per pound. And this leg weighs almost 20 pounds. It is beautiful. Thank you, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, for giving me such an incredibly beautiful piece of pork. So what you want to do to get started, I love to brine, as I've talked to you many times about brining, and that's what I do for this as well. So it's really important to cross-hatch, and what that is, it's to make a cross-hatch of the fat. Try not to get into the meat, however. And the reason why we do this, it's also called scoring, is so that as you season the pork, all of the flavorings really get their way into the skin and the fat and make its way down to the meat. So we have straight lines, and then we come across here and we start doing what's called a crosshatch. You need a really sharp knife to do that. So you're basically making diamond shapes, and you'll want to do that all over the leg. The brine can be whatever it is you love. Beer is actually really great to brine in as well. But here I have some of my favorite things for pork. Some Granny Smith apples, which you just chop up any old way, fresh thyme, bay leaf, black peppercorn, salt of course, brown sugar, and apple cider vinegar, and a lot of water. This will take probably 3 gallons of water. So you need a really big container or a clean garbage bag. You just mix everything together, allow the brown sugar and the salt to melt. You can warm it, but then of course you have to wait for it to cool off completely. Slide the pork in. The longer the better, by the way. If you can do this 3 days ahead, you will have the most incredible, beautiful roast pork. You can do it 2 days ahead or 24 hours ahead. It's really up to you, but 3 days is really optimum. And then I gave it a little twist, a little nod to my mother's heritage. This is actually going to be a chimichurri roast ham. So let me show you how to make oh my goodness, okay. This is really heavy. I actually make a red chimi for this ham, and I'll show you how to do that. Pretty simple. You take a lot of Italian parsley or curly parsley, up to you, put that into a food processor, a good amount of kosher salt, some garlic, fresh oregano, red crushed chilies, some smoked paprika. You see how these are two kinds? One says bittersweet and the other one says sweet. I like the combination. It's called pimentón de la vera, which is the Spanish and actually the best form of smoked paprika. It's really delicious, but more than anything, it just has a really good smell to it. And just add a little bit in there. Finally, just a touch, not much at all, of red wine vinegar, and let it run. Once it's gone about as far as it can go ahead and add the oil. Now, If I were to serve this chimichurri on a table with steak, I wouldn't add the oil now, but because I'm basically doing this just to brush the pork, I'm going to add the oil to make it a little more pureed. Okay, so I have my pork warming up in the oven. Let me get that out. Now I cook it in one of these little foil containers just because it's so big and it makes my life a little bit easier. Okay. It's really nice and crispy. I've been brushing it with chimichurri. So I decided instead of dousing it in chimichurri before I cooked it, I actually took it out of the brine. I washed it, rinsed it, dried it really well. Put it into a 400-degree oven until it became golden and crispy. It only took about 20-25 minutes. Then I put the temperature down to 325 and I began brushing it with a chimichurri, which is why it's a little bit dark, but that's only the crust from the dark herb and everything. See how it turned a little bit red here, and that's due to the paprika. Instead of really getting it covered in chimi at the beginning, I wanted to get that crispy golden, and it's just delicious. Cut everything in nice big chunks off the bone, and then obviously to serve, you'll want to slice it, or you can even pull this apart if you wanted to, but I would rather slice it in nice big slices, and it just falls apart beautifully, like so. And put this on the platter like that. It's just gorgeous. Now remember, I have all kinds of great juices from the bottom of the ham. This was the cooking liquid that I took the fat off. See how gelatinized it is? It's just wonderful. If you want to warm this up a little bit and pour it over the ham and save a little bit of the chimichurri as I did and then serve it on the side, it would be perfect. So put the little chimichurri in like a little bowl like this, like so. You can serve that right next to the sliced ham and warm up this beautiful sauce right over, and then you have yourself quite the meal. I'm loving that ham of mine. Now come right back. I've got one more warming recipe to celebrate the holidays. Welcome back to my Tastes of Christmas Past show. Here's one more for you. Even though I made you hot chocolate recently in my Desayuno en Mexico show, this hot chocolate is different and oh so comforting. But everybody loves hot chocolate, and everybody has their own way of making hot chocolate. Most of you would say, yeah, a little bit of cocoa, right, with a little bit of milk or water. It's a very simple process, but I just wanted to make one for you. Maybe it's just that I wanted to drink a little hot cocoa on the show. So I wanted to bring one of my favorite chocolates for this hot chocolate. It's called Scharfenberger. It's actually my favorite chocolate for hot chocolate. It's really dark and yummy and delicious. So I've got some hot milk. I've got some fresh chopped chocolate. Pour it in. I'm going to use just a little tiny pinch of salt. Make sure that it's all melted in there. Let's see. Oof. I do not need any sugar. All right. Marshmallows, of course. Most people put them on top. I always put them in first. That way they melt in there. I'm going to go for 4. I don't really know who my other person is, but I'm hoping somebody comes and enjoys this cup with me. And pour that hot chocolate right over the top. Now you can use your cocoa all you want, but to me, a great bar of bittersweet dark chocolate is the best thing in the whole world. It might be Christmas, but I'm not going to make another one. This is all for me. Well, that's our SoFlo taste for this week. And for this year, I want to thank each and every one of you for giving me your gift of watching SoFlo Taste in 2021. And I hope me giving you my recipes is our way of exchanging holiday gifts. Next week, I start 2022 with an invitation to you to join me for brunch. I'll be making a classic niçoise salad with, of course, my twist on it, a savory breakfast strata, and the recipe that sealed the deal for me becoming the host of this show when I served my lemon ricotta pancakes to the producers of this show. Now let's check in with my pal Hunter Frankie to see what he's got coming up on SoFlo Health tomorrow. Hey Hunter.
Hey there Michelle. Tomorrow on SoFlo Health, join us at this beautiful hotel. We're going to take a look back at 2021. It's our recap show for the year, and we're going to have so much tomorrow on SoFlo Health right here on Local 10 at 12:30.
Okay Hunter, thanks. We'll be glued tomorrow afternoon, and Merry Christmas. Also, watch our friend Elena Capra and SoFlo Home Project tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 for the final time. They'll be moving back to Saturdays at 11 a.m. starting next week. Happy to have SoFlo Home Project following us again. That's a great Christmas gift. So taste buds, be smart, be safe, and be vaccinated, and I'll see you here next week and next year. And as I leave you, please take a look at the names of the people on the credits of our last show of 2021. They are the ones who I thank for the success of SoFlo Taste. I adore them all. Goodbye, good taste, and Merry Christmas, and a very Happy New Year. Mwah. Happy ho ho.